Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at GeoBusiness and I've come onto the Murphy Geospatial stand. We've got Raymond Murphy here with us. Ray, you are the basically strategic guy for Murphy Geospatial. This means, folks, that you are in charge of what's happening now, but in the future, the bigger thinking that Murphy Geospatial is going through. Tell us about what is really going on now, because you're looking at things in a slightly different way when you look at the whole geospatial environment, aren't you?
Yes, Peter, yeah, no, it's great to be here to have a chat with you. A lot of interesting things around. I haven't had a chance really to look at everything yet, but I think we're at a very interesting time for geospatial. There's a lot of data out there, so data certainty is where we focus on. Quite simply, as an organisation, we try to make it easy to access geospatial data, and that's either by some of the very advanced technology like augmented reality or some of the handheld devices that are used. But ultimately, if we can get more people using geospatial data, puts a higher value on that and delivers more value across projects. So we're lucky enough, I suppose the company was founded in Ireland, and Ireland has a lot of FDI type clients. So we have worked with a lot of people who are forward thinking outside mainstream construction, more manufacturing. So the learnings that we've had for the last maybe 15, 20 years, we're bringing into mainstream construction now. We're seeing trends that are coming in now about getting modern methods of construction, we call it now. But that, approach to construction has been going on quite a long time in manufacturing. And so I suppose what underpins all of this is data, right? And, and having data that people can trust and validating and stand over. Like geospatial data is quite complex in its form, and us surveyors get really excited about it and talking about it and making it more complicated than it can be. Yeah. But we try to simplify that and have a position where there's a certification around the work we do, so when we're involved in projects, people can trust it and make informed decisions from there.
So what I'm seeing out there right now, folks, is I'm seeing the way in which people are using data before a bucket even gets onto an earthworks project. So we're talking about there getting the right data with the right levels of accuracy and creating 3D digital rehearsal journeys as such before we even get onto the 3D modelling of how a site looks. That's really important, isn't it, that you take that journey before anything goes on site, so you can model where things should be and the phasing of how things work. You can only do that with the right data though, can't you? Yeah,
completely. I feel contracts and things like this have made it more difficult for people to collaborate in proper ways, and has siloed the way how projects are delivered when you go to site. But early engagement from a geospatial point of view is paramount for delivery, because even we can have too much data, right? And I see this all the time where trades coming to site with the latest scanners, which are great things to have, but over scanning and complexing, slowing down the process for verification or validation of the project as it moves forward. So it's about the right data, right? And that's where I suppose our experience comes into play, because we're impartial to one particular vendor, so we kind of knowledge across a lot of technology. Yep. So we're applying the right technology to the solution that's needed for. So early on, rehearsal is so important. Like we're quite used to doing that, because in manufacturing that's what it's all about. You've got an operating facility. You don't want to disrupt it, so what do? You make sure you rehearse and make sure it's right. And if you stop a production line, the costs are massive. So just take that approach to normal construction is a no-brainer on our parts, right? But you've got to make sure that people are collaborating correctly. And we've had a lot of good things from a BIM point of view. There's acronyms and terminology in there that I think has made it too complicated for people. I think digital twin is probably something people can consume a little bit better, right? The general public, if you're in the bar talking to somebody talking about digital twin, that makes sense of it, right? Exactly. Somewhat. So we're getting places, right? But within that space, there hasn't been a real focus around coordination. Now, there's coordination from a data point of view, but from a positional coordination has not been there. And like what we say is like, we induct people from a health and safety going to site. That's important. Nobody inducts anyone from a measurement point of view. and they wonder why things are in the wrong place, right? So, so the governance role that we have developed called geospatial management, where we come in from the top down, where we're normally on client side at PMO level, where we govern everything that happens from a geospatial data point of view and workflow point of view on the site.
And I think what's really important there is you know, when you've got those standards and the ways and methodologies of how you take a bit of data, how you do a scan, what technology you can use, and how that is delivered back into the model.
Yes.
So as the site progresses, we've got the digital rehearsal, but then the site starts building, and we need to understand how we can see the layers of, for example, that are built in a wall from all of the internal pipe works and utilities that are then, you know, hidden to the viewer in a building and a structure. But once we understand that and how they categorize those, then actually when it comes to the life cycle of a structure, we can look after it better.
100%.
And we can maintain it better. So actually the carbon footprint, the sustainability element that we've got to really look at here is build it once, build it well, don't have to go back and, I hate the word snagging, folks. I talked about that earlier today. Let's eliminate that, because that's actually prove that things need to be done or leveled properly as we go through it. But then let's actually take that asset and say, we've now got all of this information for you, that there is your real twin in the digital space, that you can do and manage that. But come on, there's technologies that are happening right now as well, aren't they? That you're getting excited about and investing in as well.
Well, I think within that what you've described there, one of the most important part is connection, right? So connected technologies is where we see a lot of advancement happening at the moment, and we have developed, we have various different technologies we use around capturing environments, so creating that digital asset of what's there, but connecting that to the process. So connecting that to A360 or connected BIM track or these other collaboration tools during construction is the important part. Because with that, what you see very often is the business case around what you do is not the core snagging that you think you're doing construction. When it gets into the in-use phase, there's bigger value pieces that can be around having a digital representation of an asset.
Absolutely, and when you've got a bridge that can tell you with a little sensor that I'm not feeling very well because there's a little crack appeared or there's some movements that are not quite right, you know that you can look after the infrastructure that we rely on, you can look after the built environment better, and you know that stitching time, thanks to sensors, thanks to geospatial data, is going to save a lot of money, a lot of carbon, and also it's going to make our world a better place. Great to talk to you today. Fantastic really to see what's going on in the business and the future.
No, thank you.